Hi, in this video I'm going to kind of discuss the strategy of Chang Shi Taijiquan, or the way that I interpreted it from my teacher's training, which was a disciple of Grandmaster Chang. We have two programs. We have one that's more for functional fitness. In Chang Shi Tai Chi, we really don't discuss esoteric ideas or metaphysics and that kind of stuff like that. It's just, if we can't physically do it with the body, and we have to look at outside, we'll say ideas in which to use our body and make it work beyond something that's sports science or health and science related, right? We want to be able to maximize the health of this body and keep it as strong and as vibrant as we can, as long as we can. So that's kind of what that functional fitness program is for, those that are coming to it because they need to improve their health or they want to maintain it. This other program is about those things as well as application, meaning in Chang Shi Taijiquan, we're still going to be looking at strength and mobility and longevity of the body, the quality of life that we can get from our training, which is a tool. And with the application part, I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit. So Tai Chi has kicks and strikes and locks and controls, and it has some takedowns, right? That's in any style of Tai Chi. Now, whether that practitioner or that group emphasize those things or if they emphasize something else, like more other type of development. But they're all there in the forms. So, we'll say a situation where, a physical conflict situation where you can't de-escalate it and, you feel this impending situation is going to take place, we have a strategy to deal with that. First off, we usually use preemptive attacks. It's one thing you're at the ATM and you're putting your card in or something and you're not paying attention, somebody jumps you and you have to react and respond to it, right? Or I don't know, you're in a busy, crowded street and you're walking along and somebody attacks you, provokes you, but without any we'll say dialogue, right? They just attack. That's different. In those situations, I'm going to try to counterattack that, or I have to now be reaction and respond. I'm talking more, when I say preemptive attack, I'm talking about where I see the person is being physically aggressive, maybe they're raising their voice, they're developing this, we'll say, potential courage to attack you, right? It gets started as some kind of basic argument, and then it just keeps escalating, and they're looking for an opportunity and wants to attack. And if you can't run away, or you can't de-escalate the situation through verbally, just remember they're going to try to attack you if they build up enough courage in which to do so, or if it's not broken up by someone else, right? So in those situations, we want to do what we call it like an offensive action first, or a preemptive attack, so that we can control the variables to a certain point, right? If I kick at your leg and you don't do anything about it, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to kick you in the leg. Now, you could potentially move, you could do some other responsive action like throw a strike or something like that. But the variables get smaller if I initiate something. If I'm standing here, the other person is standing here, I don't know what they're going to do. They could dive at you, they could try to attack your legs, they could kick at you, they could punch at you, they could throw something at you. And so it's very hard to figure that through that. And a lot of people that do Tai Chi, they want to get an attachment, right? But then they're going to guide and direct your energy and these kind of things. And that has its value. But not everybody is going to try to grab you or try to grapple with you. So in my opinion, Tai Chi is striking and grappling. It's like a stand-up striking and grappling system. Everything is here. And that doesn't mean that the other person is going to try to get a hold of you and try to grapple with you. A lot of them may just try to throw blows at you and stay away from you and keep attacking you. You never get the opportunity to have that attachment that you want to utilize in which to, we'll say, destabilize the person, break their structure, make them fall into something, right? So if we're only thinking that way, we really limit ourselves. So with a preemptive attack, if I break it down like this, we have kicks and strikes to close, or create, or maintain distance, right? So if you think of it like this, I may utilize a kick and some form of a strike, or even just a bridge attachment. A bridge, throw this thing up and see if he takes the bait. If he blocks it or he attaches to it, then it's easier for me to utilize destabilizing techniques, trips, and throws. But if he doesn't and he pulls away, then you're going to need to be able to deal with the striking and the kicking part. And if you're not thinking like that, and you don't practice those things, and you only practice things just from an attachment, it's going to be very difficult for you because you're going to be trying to chase his bridge, chase his arm, to get that attachment to do those things, if that's the only way that you're training. So we don't do that in Chang Shi Taijiquan. Again, we may use a preemptive attack, which would be kicks and strikes, to try to close the distance on the person. Now, when I say what I mean by create or maintain distance, maybe they're encroaching on you, right? As you do your preemptive attack, and maybe I utilize some kick to push off to get distance from them, right? Or I'm going to hold my ground, and as he goes to move in, I kick and I jam him, but I do it before he engages with an attack himself, right? He may be moving in, but he still hasn't tried to make a strike or a kick. Now, again, if I do this preemptive attack and I do get the attachment, right? From the attachment, I'm going to try to either seize, hold, I'm going to try to control, destabilize, or throw. So like seizing, like say, for example, I threw this strike at him and he tried to block it, right? He didn't pull his arm back and he didn't throw off the other side, but he blocked it, or he tried to reach forward and grab me, right? He wants to grapple with me. And from there, I'm seizing his arm, right? His wrist and say his elbow, right? On this side. Or maybe I throw the strike and instead of him trying to block it, he throws a strike, maybe a hook at me. Again, there's my attachment, and then maybe I'll wrap his arm up. I'm just giving some basic examples. I don't really have anything written down like these are techniques or this or something like that. I'm just giving you like we'll say the main idea. So again, I'm not engaged with him, but potentially there's a great potential for him to attack me. Right, so then I engage with a kick or a strike, depending on the range, right? If I'm close enough that I can hit him, I'm going to go ahead and just throw a punch, possibly, right? If I'm a little bit further out, I may try to kick to move me in closer to get that. Or I may do something where I kick low to strike high, just to pull his attention down as I try to strike up here. So again, I'm trying to limit the variables. Now, as it relates to the seizing, controlling, destabilizing, right? So a lot of people in Tai Chi, they want to get this attachment, and then from the attachment, they're going to guide you with a push or a pull, and either to try to make you falter and fall, or to break you down, right? You're here, and maybe they pull you this way, and then they push you this way, it collapses you, right? Something to that effect. That's really difficult to do, okay? And the average person that's practicing a couple of times a week, it would be really hard to do that. Now, if the other person is complying, you're doing something like pushing and you're attached to them, well, of course you can destabilize him. He's going along with what you're doing. You're both compliant in that situation. I'm talking about the person on the street or in a combat sport, say you went to go compete in Sanda, right? Volkantak Sanda. Or you went to go and you compete in Swaja. There are Chin practitioners out there, which Chin is much more realistic in a lot of ways than some of the other, now maybe not the sport commission forms, but the ones that are applying it for application, they're very realistic about it. And a lot of Chin Tai Chi practitioners will also compete in Swaja, right? You know, to try to grapple with the person. And I think that's great. But anyway, when you're thinking like this and you're guiding the person, and I'm purely using my whole of my body, right? My intention is to do something. I'm going to borrow. I may redirect him. I may try to change my angle to make it to where his is weak, or use it. But when people start discussing internal energy, and they're going to use this internal energy like it's going to really attach to the other person, and you're going to move them without using any muscle or connective tissue, that's I don't believe that. And you know, I teach anywhere from like 20s to 80, and I'll guarantee you that a 70-year-old man that is not working on his strength and his mobility, but he's working on this, you know, this esoteric idea that he's going to use chi energy to help him to open that door, or help him to climb up those 2 flights of stairs, and he's going to do it effortlessly because the chi is moving and it's not the muscles and connective tissues. That is not a really good. I wouldn't want to feel even responsible to try to say and share that with somebody like that. Anyway, I just don't believe that. And as it relates to this system of Chang Shi Taijiquan, my Sifu, Grandmaster Chang, very famous individual as a Swaja wrestling champion and a Lei Tai fighter. Okay, probably one of the very well recognized master from the last 100 years, and proven. Like a lot of these people, they never did stuff like that. This man did, and I'm going to have to side with my Sigon on that. That those things, you have to believe in them for them to work, and not even that they worked. You have to believe in them to think that this is what's happening, and be very unrealistic. That not thinking that by me moving my arm, me picking up something like this and me doing this, that I'm not using any stabilizer muscles, I'm not using any connective tissue or muscle in general to hold this out here. That this is purely chi. Because, the muscles are not contracted, right? That is, and to be honest with you, if I pull it up here like this, the shoulder girdle is doing all the work now, and the abdomen, or the core, is having to support this. I keep it down here, but now I'm in my core, which I can get into my hips, which I can transfer down into my feet. That's real. But to say other things like that, I think it's very irresponsible. So anyway, I'm sorry I got off a tangent there. If it's a push or pull, add leg skills. Well, so if I get in and I get a hold and it's an attachment, right? In Chang Tai Chi, instead of me just going to push this person or pull them down, right? As a single action, I'm going to make a push and a pull action, right? So instead of me just pushing, I'm going to pull with the leg and push with the hand. And I will topple him and make him fall. Or I'm pushing out with the leg, right? I got the attachment. I push out with the leg, but I pull with the arms, right? So in Chang Shi Tai Chi, that is our thinking, right? So preemptively, in a situation where somebody is trying to engage me and they mean to cause me harm, or they want to take from you, or what have you, if you can't de-escalate, you can't get away, and you have to deal with the situation, to wait for them to attack, and you're going to use some type of a counteraction that you're going to attach to them and flip them across the room with going to class a couple of days a week. Think of it like this. There is, we'll say, basketball in maybe even elementary school, but at least in junior high, high school, college, and then you have the pros, right? They're all playing the same game. But it's the not just the how much you practice, but some people just have an innate natural ability to do certain types of physical body movements. And that's the difference between, we'll say, a college athlete and a pro, right? A college football player and a pro football player, right? Or a basketball or tennis or anything like that. It's that person is their skill set is just another step above. And a lot of those actions where the person is going to do something and I attach to them and I'm just going to effortlessly make them flip and fall away. One, that's unrealistic. But two, the amount of, there are some people out there that can do that. I will say that. But that's this small percentage. Just like think, even if you put all of the basketball pro athletes together, I don't know what the number would be, and you took that as a percentage about how many people that practice basketball from, we'll say, junior high to college, right? And the people that play pickup games on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon or a Thursday night or what have you, all the people that play it versus the percentage of that. That would be like that's what I'm getting at when I say it's unrealistic. To sit there and think that the average Joe or Jane is going to be able to learn this stuff. Part of me thinks that, I used to sit there and I go, wow, what is this elusive thing that, why can't I understand this thing, right? Like there was a curtain up and I couldn't see past the other side to understand what, these things that these people were talking about that they're able to do. And then I realized that the majority of them, they were thinking the same one thing like me, right? But instead of, going, well, that's impractical, that doesn't fit the, natural law, right? Physics, it doesn't even fit that, right? They just go ahead and accept it, and they start saying they do it too. And then all of a sudden now, they have this intangible skill, right? That's the way I see a lot of them that do it. Anyway, let's see. Back to my original thing here. And I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but just sometimes people, I don't want anybody to think that I think that way. And I don't think that anybody out there should have to feel that that's what you need to think and that's what you need to believe to be good at Tai Chi. And just because this group or this person says that that is what Tai Chi is and that what you're doing is not Tai Chi, right? You even see that within, Qin is supposed to be the oldest form of Tai Chi, right? Yang is supposed to come from Qin. And then there's a debate about Jiao Bao Tai Chi, and it being potentially the oldest, and the Qin comes, or something like to that effect. I'm not going to get into that, but some even say that the Qin Tai Chi is not the real Tai Chi that Yang is. Now, what do you think? The guy that said that, what is his thinking? He thinks that Yang is superior to Qin or Wu or Sun or Chong or what have you. My point is that you don't have to feel like those things matter because they don't. What matters is that you can utilize Tai Chi as a functional tool for your overall wellness or for martial application. If it does one of those two things or both of those things for you, then it has value. If I have to theorize and come up with esoteric ideas and I have to believe in that stuff for Tai Chi to be useful to me, then I don't want to do it. Because I've been teaching 29 years and I've taken people to compete in full contact fighting, swagile wrestling, all of these kind of things like that. It takes physical effort to build up your cardio, to build up your muscle, to build up your endurance, to build up that mobility, the flexibility of your body, all of those things. But to believe that because you think this, that just is going to happen, is just a really bad programming. So anyway, back to the fundamental idea of Chang Shi Taijiquan and how it's applied, right? Again, in this video, I'm purely talking about, well, I'm saying some negative things, and I don't mean to be like that. But anyway, as it relates to the strategy, I'm talking about somebody that's trying to engage me, again, to either hurt me, or physically take from me, or hurt somebody that's with me, or whatever it may be. And I can't verbally get them to de-escalate the situation. I can't leave from the situation either. I'm kind of bound in that situation when I feel that there's just there's no getting around it. This is going to become an altercation. I want to be the one that engages first. I want to put them on defense first, and I want to limit the variables. Again, it is very presumptuous of people to sit here and go, all right, I'm going to wait for this guy to attack me because that's morally the correct way to do it. No, the person's trying to hurt you, maybe kill you. No, you can't think like that. If you think like that in combat sports, sangda, swajiao, you do not want to play defense and wait for the other person to attack you. You want to engage. That's how you really truly learn to counter something. Right? If I really wanted just to be able to counter external force, strength, and speed, then I have to understand how to apply it myself. It's to sit there and think, well, this is so-and-so, I'm doing this, and I know that this is, this, but you've never done it. You're just theorizing. And for that matter, anyway, the balance factor, if Tai Chi is this balance, right? We'll say duality and this, you have this progressive, approach. There's changes that keep happening, right? Then if you're doing one or the other and not trying to balance that out, then what are you really doing? So again, I'm always going to lead, depending on the range, right? I lead in with some type of a kick and a strike. I want to get close to him. And this, we'll say I'm trying to get close to him. And again, if I kick low, right, or I kick at him, he's going to have to deal with that or he's going to get kicked. Now, he may do some kind of offensive attack. I may do this and he throws a punch. Great, but I got him to do something, right? And then there, I can try to make an attachment and try to control it or seize it and then keep striking him or put him down on the ground. If I lead him with the kicks and the strikes to get in attachment range or close range, and then from there, either attach or strike and try to control the bridge, stay on the outside, the flank, different approaches, many actually. And then from there, again, from that attachment point, say I got, he wants to try to wrestle with me, or he wants to block it, and I'm able to seize it. Right? From seizing it, I'm trying to control some aspect of his body, and then from the control, I'm going to try to trip or throw him. It's quite simple. And then if I really wanted to take it all the way, we'll say, then from there, I would pin him. I would try to control him with my knee, control an arm, or kick, or strike down, or even try to control a joint, like the elbow, or roll him over and try to have to extend the shoulder, that kind of approach. If you think like that, it will make it, it's a great approach. The other way, where you're just standing here and you're waiting for somebody to do something to you, you don't know what they're going to do. And don't think of it as a morality issue. I can't hit him first. No, don't think like that. That person's trying to cause you harm. But whenever I make that